It's not AI there, NewsGuard, okay? Now, and of course, let's look at the oil movement. Now, in yesterday's news notes, I put the link in from the Maritime Tracker if you want to see what's going on. Good tracker. Good tracker. All right, little Andy Griffith reference there for Ritz crackers. And the oil movement. That's definitely worth your donation. The oil movement for Iran. Drop site reports this. Speaker of the Parliament of Iran and Iran's chief wartime negotiator, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, confirms Iran exported over 40 million barrels of crude. I thought Donald Trump said they weren't getting anything out. We control everything. No. Since the day we lifted the blockade until today, we have exported more than 40 million barrels of oil. This happened in less than 10 to 12 days, but for more than 50 days, we really did not export a single barrel of oil. During that time, we were engaged in discussions on how to make this happen. There you go. With crude prices between $70 and $74 per barrel, Iran would generate approximately 3.5 to 3.7 billion in gross revenue. All right. Good stuff. There you go. Now, while they try to hold you over a barrel, let's talk about Keven Hassett. Because Keven Hassett, finally, remember how he kept doing this in the winter and then the springtime? You know, the wintertime, he'd be like, oh, yeah, things are great. And then a couple weeks later, literally, it was 1 week, he said, well, things are going to improve. Wait, I thought you just told Fox News you were standing out there in the driveway of the White House. You're like, everything's awesome, man. This is awesome. This is great, isn't it? Mom, couldn't get any better than this. And then a week later, it's like, no, things are going to improve pretty soon. Okay. Well, now Keven Hassett tacitly admits that prices have not gone the way he had portrayed them a quarter ago, when he claimed that prices were up because the economy was so great. I'm not talking just about energy prices either. We're talking about all the prices, all the inlings, as they would say on Red Dwarf. When he and Mr. Besant, claimed that the U.S. was, quote, insulated from world demand of oil and gas. Remember that? Remember those good old days? Oh, those are great days, wasn't it? I was so innocent and naive. Keven Hassett says, here's the quote from, MSN. Keven Hassett says gas prices will drop once the Strait of Hormuz traffic returns to normal. I wonder why. What happened? How did it not get? What was the problem? Did they have like volcanic eruptions there? There he is, the Cheshire Cat. All right. Yep. The Trump administration's rapid response handle posted a clip featuring Hassett in a CNBC interview. He said that pipelines in Saudi Arabia and the UAE were now operating close to capacity due to challenges in the Strait of Hormuz, outlining that the same pipelines were running below capacity before the war. I see. So what you're saying is the strait is problematic and you're trying to find other ways to get oil. Once traffic is really moving, we go back to more than 100 ships a day, Hassett said. You're going to see prices even come down. Yeah. He also said that during the 60 days following the memorandum of understanding, Iran will test Trump's so-called resolve, pointing towards the strikes that took place over the weekend. You mean the strikes that took place because the United States was trying to circumvent one of the planks of the MOU, which is that Iran gets to control the straits? I don't know. So far, you got the Lebanon thing and you got the Iran thing. I don't know. The straits. Seems to me that Keven Hassett is sort of circumventing the source of the problem, which is the United States being completely unreliable. Now, at the same time, price-wise, Trump, of course, hates communism. He's not a collectivist in any way. Remember that now. So, yeah, Dav Pilkey, he's pulling the collectivist central planner card again. How? He's attacking oil companies for the prices that he has made high. And, of course, which other presidents and Congresses have made high because of regulations and restrictions and diktats. Trump demands gas retailers cut pump prices immediately. Did you see when he opened up his own oil company? You remember that part? That was a good part, wasn't it? Remember those days when Trump was like, I won't tell other people how to do their business. I'll just do it myself. President Donald Trump has demanded gas stations slash prices immediately, warning there would be big problems if they failed to act. So what happens when you put price caps on something? You get more of it or less of it, Donald? I think you were alive in the 70s. Remember what happened? Remember? It was a bad idea. Don't go attacking the fuel companies. How about get out of the federal lands that you're not constitutionally sanctioned to have in the first place, coming from an anarchist, and let the market run things. Stop creating corporations, stop handing favors to corporations, and with the other hand, stop strangling the corporations. Allow for more refineries. Don't claim credit for refineries that won't come online until 2027 that you didn't even start, that was started under Biden. How about get the government out of the economy, and then, strangely, we consumers can decide whether or not we're satisfied. And we don't need central planners like you who tell us you don't like communism, dictating to us from the Supreme Soviet in Washington, D.C., that he doesn't like that corporation and he's going to start to manhandle them like Stalin. How about leave them alone? That'd be really cool. That'd be awesome. But of course, Trump is so concerned about your gas tank prices that it's translated into greater concern about something really near and dear to your heart. Let me give it to you. Yeah, that's right. Trump doesn't care about house prices. You got it. Trump says housing affordability bill is a big yawn. He doesn't care about house prices at all. There'll probably be a commercial here, but let me go over to this one because, as you can see, President Trump on Monday stopped short of confirming that he will sign a bipartisan housing affordability bill, which he called a big yawn. Okay. Now, first of all, the affordability bill is unconstitutional. Second, how do you make something affordable? Well, you allow the consumers to drive prices where they want them, down. And how could consumers possibly do that? Well, the people supplying something will try to lower their prices in a competitive market to cater to the consumers, who are always the final arbiter. They can decide to buy or not buy. Valuation is in the eyes of the consumer. It might even change during the course of a day for each consumer. Every consumer is different. Only in the market, at the point of sale, does the consumer, through the price mechanism, reveal a blip of data which then can be shifted into the larger market at hand. Donald Trump doesn't understand markets. He shows that he doesn't understand markets by what he just said about oil. He also doesn't understand markets because if he did, he would say, hey, the Constitution doesn't allow for subsidies for houses, doesn't allow for government home loans, doesn't allow for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, it doesn't allow for all this manipulation to try to put resources into homes that people like so many presidents in the past thought would be the leaders in an economic recovery for the United States. All it does is pump up prices, utilize resources that shouldn't be utilized within the home market, and people who get the loans can't afford the loans later, and they crash. And all those resources that get pumped up in the bidding have to be liquidated at lower prices. Donald Trump doesn't get it, and there are so many houses out there for sale right now, it's very clear. You could lower the house price situation if those homes were put on the market at liquidation prices. But instead, what do? You get the Federal Reserve to buy up mortgages. You get Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to buy up mortgages. You get banks to insure more loans for people to buy and continue to try to prop up prices. This is a recipe for disaster, and we've tasted it before.